Here's a quick video of Unit M Area Perimeter Volume Study Guide. First problem gives me the perimeter and two of the sides, and I'm looking for the missing side, so I'm going to add the two sides together that I know. 11 plus 5 is 16. Take that away from 25, and that will tell me how much side S is. On this one, they give me three of the sides, so I'm going to add those together. 7 and 7 is 14, plus 5 is 19. Take that away from 28. This one's also 9. How many 1 square foot tiles will I have to cover the floor? This area problem, so area means length times width, so I'm taking 12 times 8, and I get 96. How much wood do you need to make a frame for the picture below? So I'm putting a picture frame around this picture, which means it's a perimeter problem, so I'm going to add all the sides together. Don't forget that this side and this side I also need, or else you're not going to have a complete picture frame. 5 plus 5 is 10. 3.5 and 3.5 equals 7.0, so this is really 10 plus 7. I need 17 inches of wood. How much fence does the farmer need to go around his field? Remember, you're going all the way around, so I need all of the numbers. I don't care about this part in there. The farmer just has a leaning kind of field, so I'm adding 150 and 150, that's 300. 60 plus 60 is 120. Add them together, I need 420 feet of fence. Joe ran 3 laps of the track. How far did he run? Again, it's a perimeter problem because it's an entire track. So we got to add the other sides on there. 250 and 250 is 500. 75 and 75 is 150. Add them together and I'm at 650. But reading carefully, I noticed it says he ran 3 laps. So I'm going to do 650 times 3. And end up with 1,950 feet. Don't forget to read the entire question. How many square feet of flooring will Dan need for the hall and closet? I can only do area of shapes that I know, so I'm going to take this T shape and cut it into 2 rectangles. So now I have the rectangle that's up above, length times width, 20 times 4, base times height, what? It's 80. Base times height down here, 9 times 4 is 36. I just add the areas together, and I end up with 116 square feet. On this one, sort of the same thing. Mama's putting carpet down in the hall and the kitchen. I'm going to cut it right here. And notice that I cut through this side right here that was 21 feet long. So there's not really a 21 anymore because I cut it into this part and this part. So I go to the big rectangle, I'm looking for the base. So if the top part's 11, this down here would also be 11. So there's my base, 11 times 16, which is going to get me to 176. Over here, base times height, since the top's 10, the bottom is also 10, so base times height is 10 times 4 is 40. Got 176 plus 40 equals 216 square feet. What's the area of the shape below? Area of parallelogram equals base times height. And remember, height is always the one that's going straight up and down. So I've got 8.4 times 3.7. Don't worry about the decimals right now. You just multiply like you normally would. And when you get finished multiplying, you should have been at 3,108. Now I go in and put my decimal where it goes. 1, 2 spots back. 1, 2. 31.08 square feet. And if you're not sure about where the decimal goes, think about just doing the number without the decimal part. So I've basically got 8 times 3, that's 24. So my answer should be a little over 24. Not 310.8, not 3,108, because they would be both way over. Bulletin board border comes in pieces 4 feet long. How many pieces go around the bulletin board? I'm going around the bulletin board. Giving you a big clue, it's perimeter. So let's get all the numbers in there again. Add up all the sides, 12 and 12, 24. 8 and 8, 16. Add them up. It's 40 feet to go around the bulletin board. I'm at the store. I'm buying the pieces. They come in pieces that are 4 feet long. So each piece covers 4 feet. I need to know how many 4s do I need to cover the 40, which means I'm dividing. You should end up with 10 pieces. What's the area of the shape below? It's a triangle, so that's 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times the base is 3. You sit on your base. Height's always straight up and down. That's usually the one with the arrow. So 1/2 times 3 times 8. I'm going to take the 1/2 times 8 because I don't like half of 3. So half of 8 is 4. 4 times 3 equals 12, and it's square inches this time. How many cubic inches of water will the aquarium below hold? Cubic inches tells me it's a volume problem, so we got length times width times height. So I got 30 times 50 times 20. And it doesn't matter what order I do them in when I'm multiplying. Instead of freaking out on this, let's append all of our zeros. So we got 1, 2, 3 zeros at the end. And just look what's left. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 3 is 30. Move my comma where it goes. 30,000 cubic inches. Sounds like a lot, but remember a cubic inch is basically like a baby's block. So you could fit a lot of them in an aquarium. Area of the shape below, it's a triangle, so we got 1/2 base times height again. So 1/2 times my base is the bottom it's sitting on, 2/3, times my height. There's not an arrow this time because this triangle has a right angle, so it's already going straight up and down. So times 1/4. Okay, before you freak out and you want to start getting things with same denominators, relax and think for a second. When I multiply fractions, I'm going to do top times top, or in this case, top times top times top. So 1 times 2 times 1 is 2. Bottom times bottom times bottom, 6, 24. I'm at 2/24. The numerator and denominator are both even, so I'm going to divide by 2, and I end up with 1/12 square inches. Remember, this is a tiny, tiny triangle, so it's not taking up a lot of room. Area of the rectangle ABCD is 44 square feet. So what's the area of triangle ABC? So rectangle ABCD, so that's the entire thing, takes up 44. But then I'm just using triangle ABC, so there's ABC. So this part right there, well, that looks like when Mom cut your sandwiches in half when you were younger. I know it's a long sandwich. Cut your sandwiches in half, so I just need half of 44. That would be 22 square feet. So it would be 22 on this side and 22 on this side. And when I add them together, that would be 44. Circle all the shapes, though they have the same area. So I'm doing length times width. 4 times 6 gets me to 24 square centimeters. So I'm looking for any shape down here with the 24 square centimeters. 5 times 5 is 25. Loser. 8 times 3 is 24. We got one winner. 8 times 2 is 16. Sorry, loser. 12 times 2 is 24. We got another winner. How many of box C will fit in box D? We got boxes, so that tells me volume. So we're doing length times width times height. 3 times 3 times 3 would be 9 times 3 is 27. Down here, there's not really a nice way to multiply these in order, so I'm just going to start with the 3 and 6. That's 18. And then we got 18 times 12. 16, carry my 1 is 3. Marco Polo, Marco Polo. 8 and a 1. Add them together. And I'm at 216. So this box, D, takes up 216 cubic inches. This box takes up 27. I want to know how many of box C I can put in there, because it is definitely smaller. How many of those go in there? So it's basically saying how many 27s in 216? Most people would go, yuck, that doesn't come out very nice. But in my head, I'm thinking 27 is very close to a quarter. So I'm going to count by 25s. Think money, it helps a lot. So 25, 50, 75, $1. Dollar there. Accidentally moved my screen frame. $1.25, $1.50, $1.75, $2. If I did another one, I'd be at 225. So it must just be 8 of them. 8 times 7, 56, gamma 5, 16, 21. It is. It comes out exactly that way. So there would be able to, I would be able to put 8 of box C's in box D. If you're not sure about that and you didn't like doing the multiplying part, you could also think this way. This is 12 inches long, and these are 3 inches long. So 3, 6, 9, 12, like each of those 3 inches, that's 1 cube. It's 3 inches deep, so that's the same as this. So this is a really skinny box. But it's also 6 inches tall, so I can put one box on top of another box. And then we would just go like that. They'd be slanted back that way. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on top, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's the area of the shape below? It's a triangle, so I'm doing 1/2 base times height. I got 1/2 times 4 times 6. Remember, height is straight up and down. Half of 4 is 2. 2 times 6 gives me to 12 square inches. The perimeter is 36. How long could the sides A and B be? A and B be. That's cool. Okay. A lot of my friends get confused on this problem because they just wanted to make A and B add up to 36, but it's the perimeter. So you have to remember there's another A over here and there's another B right there. So what I like to do is cut the 36 in half. Say half of 36, oh, that's 36 divided by 2. And that's going to get me to 18. So now, whoops, I'm subtracting there. It's going to get me to 18. So what I really need is A plus B. When I add the two sides, that's going to get me to 18. So there are lots of answers that you could have used there. They could both be 9. It could be a 10 and an 8, an 11 and a 7, a 12 and a 6, a 13 and a 5, 14 and 4, 15 and 3, 16 and 2, and maybe even a 17 and a 1, but not an 18 and a 0 because a 0 is not really a side. Can of paint covers 500 square feet. How many cans would you need to paint the outside of the barn wall below? Okay, I'm painting and covering, so that tells me its area. I'm going to do length times width. 15 times 100 is 1,500 square feet. And then I'm getting go to the store and buy paint. Every 500 square feet, I need 1 can of paint. So I can do 1,500 divided by 500, which freaks some people out, but it shouldn't because I can get rid of zeros, 2 zeros out there and 2 zeros in there, and it's really just 15 divided by 5 is 3. Some of my friends might have also wanted to go, you know what? If I cut right there, that's 500 square feet. And I do another 500 square feet, I'm up to 1,000, and another 500 square feet, I'm up to 1,500. So I just need 3 cans of paint. Last one, area of this shape, and it's a trapezoid this time. Remember, this is the weird formula. 1/2 height times parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. So I just start putting numbers in. 1/2 times my height, remember it's straight up and down, that's 8, times my numbers in parentheses, doesn't matter which one's base 1 and base 2, it's the bottom and the top, 25 plus 16. I'm going to go ahead and add the parentheses first because that's what I do in order of operations. 25 plus 16 is 41. So now I have 1/2 times 8 times 41. I have my choice of half of 8 or half of 41. I'm definitely doing half of 8 is 4. And then I just end up with 41 times 4. And I get 164 square centimeters. Good luck on the test.